Chelsea turned a good season into a very good season, and we simply had to win our last two games if we were to play Champions League football next season. And we did that in unspectacular but proper fashion. 1-0 at home against Manchester United, Marc Cucurella's winner, and a 1-0 away win at Forest, courtesy of Levi Colwill's second half goal to finish the season as our defence comes up clutch at both ends. Look, we conceded 63 goals in the Premier League last season, effectively swapped out Thiago Silva for Tosin, and we have conceded 20 goals fewer this season with Rob Sanchez in goal. That's how good a job Enzo Maresca has done in his first season at Chelsea and the Premier League, as we finished fourth after what has been an up and down season, to say the very least. And as if Chelsea's nervy 1-0 win was not enough, both our insurance card worked out. Newcastle were playing at home to Everton, Villa visiting Old Trafford with the Reds on the floor after their pitiful Europa League performance, and just for kicks, Anthony Taylor was reffing our game at a tough away ground, and all the cards fell our way. Taylor reffed a good game, Chelsea won with a clean sheet, and both Villa and Newcastle get beat. Happy days. Look, City wrap up the third spot, 2 points ahead of us. Newcastle finished fifth, and Aston Villa will play Europa League next season alongside the FA Cup winners Crystal Palace, with Nottingham Forest in the Conference League. Their first appearance in Europe for about 30 years. Disappointment for them considering they were third for most of the season, but that's just the way the Premier League works. We saw Aston Villa lodge an official complaint because they felt, and rightfully so, that they were denied a legitimate goal that VAR chalked off, and Manchester United scored later. Just couple of minutes later, to just compound their misery. Look, nothing's gonna come off the complaint, of course, because the PGMOL are bulletproof, but I guess it constitutes as news because it was a huge moment. So that's like a potential £100 million swing against Aston Villa, who miss out on the Champions League and the riches that come with it. Look, I mentioned our up and down season that we had. We were excellent till about midway of December, swatting away the likes of Brighton, Villa and Newcastle at home, keeping pace with Liverpool at the top, and then went on a shocking run. 2 wins in 10. I mean, it was awful. I remember the 22nd of Feb very clearly because that's when Philip Jorgensen, our second choice keeper, who was drafted in after Rob Sanchez was on sabotage duty, but it was Jorgensen on the night who chucked the ball into our own net at Villa Park in stoppage time, and it felt like all the good work which was done early on in the season just melted away. We would be lucky to play Champions League next season, and if we finished 7th or 8th, I wouldn't be surprised. The ship was steady to some extent, but then back-to-back draws to Brentford and that inexplicable draw at home to Ipswich. That was 5 points dropped to relegated Ipswich alone this season. It just felt infuriating that in a season where we needed to make that next jump forward, it was back to last season's shenanigans, and that 1-0 defeat at the Emirates in mid-March could really have derailed us considering our run-in in the last 2 months of the season, because that run-in that we had was a nightmare. Everton, Liverpool, Manchester United at home, Fulham, Newcastle and Forest away, and we have been superb in that period. 5 wins out of 6, defensively solid, and the players and the managers deserve a lot of credit, showing their mental resolve, their collective qualities, and dug really deep to complete the league objective. And we have a chance now to add silverware at the end of the season. Look, Chelsea can end this season with further momentum and silverware as Real Betis, coached by Manuel Pellegrini, the former Man City coach and champion, and players like Isco and Antony await us in the UEFA Conference League final in Wrocław, Poland, where we have the opportunity to complete the full European set, the only ever team to do so. It's a massive incentive that, and we have the Club World Cup duties in the States in mid-June. It's a mental schedule, really, and we must, and have to utilize and thicken a squad a lot more. Look, something really impressive this season was the average age of Chelsea's starting 11 in the Premier League. This season was 24 years and a few days, the youngest ever by a team in a single campaign in the competition. And we were, 5 points off second place Arsenal. Look, that 15-point gap to Liverpool is what we must close down next season, and it's going to be difficult because Liverpool are getting stronger after retaining Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah after his 29 goal, 18 assist season, with the signings of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez to follow. They are looking stronger already, but we have something to build upon. And if you think that we're going to get older in the age, think again. We have two hungry young Brazilians to add to the squad next season, and the transfer window isn't open yet. 21-year-old Andre Santos is coming back after his outstanding loan move at Strasbourg and being crowned the young player of Liga. And then we have Estevao, from Palmeiras, who has been lighting up the Brazilian league and already has 4 caps for Brazil, aged 18. I mean, he has the potential to reach the very top in club football. The incentive of playing Champions League football at Chelsea can now be added under the Clear Lake Capital's PowerPoint presentations while trying to attract some of Europe's best talent for the coming season. It really is exciting times ahead. Look, in terms of individuals, I thought Levi Colwill and Enzo Fernandez have improved significantly from last season. Enzo Fernandez adding goals and assists to his all-round game is a great sight to see. I saw the likes of Pedro Neto and Rob Sanchez, who showed marked improvements after I pretty much wrote them off in mid-March. Reece James, who stayed fit and looked good for the second half of the season, was just brilliant to see. And then our 3 best players of the season. For me, number 3 was Palmer, still our most influential in attack, and with 15 goals and 8 assists, while it's a dip from last season, is still excellent from Cole, considering how we dropped off as an attacking standpoint towards the end of the season. In number 2 for me was Marc Cucurella, who had an extraordinary season following his Euro wins with Spain. He's just so good for Chelsea, covering so many tactical holes that he can fill. He shows his versatility and his quality. His 1v1 defending is class. He's tenacious, and that versatility, comfortable playing as that left-sided centre half or inverting into midfield from fullback. His reputation after winning the Euros and now this season has just gone up a level. And then there's our player of the season. It's Moises Caicedo. Started all 38 games in the league, and I often run out of superlatives while describing him and his performances on the pitch. You know how important he is when you hear Enzo Maresca and the players raving about him while he remains humble off the pitch. And then you see him week in, week out, man. £115 million bargain.